Hello, my name is Mike Gruszka. I'm the Director of Product Management at Broadvox, and today we're going to talk about SIP trunking. SIP trunking, in its most simplest definition, is just a local and long-distance dial tone service that provides the ability for a premise-based phone system such as PBXs or key systems to make and receive calls over the internet. It is a replacement to traditional phone line services such as analog lines or channelized T1s such as PRIs. Many businesses will have a setup in their office that looks like this. On the phone network side, they'll have a PBX or key system that provides their phone features, and behind that PBX, they'll have phones connected to it. That PBX is connected out to the public switch telephone network via traditional phone lines such as an analog line or a PRI. On the data side, they'll have a broadband connection to the internet. When calls are placed in this scenario, the call will go from the phone through the PBX and connect to the remote party. With SIP trunking, that traditional phone line is no longer needed. Instead, the PBX will register to voice equipment on the internet. An IP PBX can do this directly, or any legacy equipment such as a key system or a PBX that takes PRI connections can do this via the use of an integrated access device. When calls are placed in this scenario, the calls will go out the same broadband connection that the internet uses for data traffic. The calls will then be connected to the PSTN over the internet using a media gateway on the service provider's network. In this way, businesses can utilize SIP trunking regardless if they have an old key system or a brand new IP PBX. So why should businesses care about SIP trunking? SIP trunking cuts costs. By some surveys, up to 70% over traditional phone line services. And this is done primarily through eliminating the costs of the additional phone lines that are coming through the office. Since you're going to share the already existing bandwidth connection coming in, you don't need those analog lines or PRIs. In addition, you can right-size the calling capacity by specifying exactly the number of call sessions that you need. If your business only needs 6 concurrent calls during its peak time, you don't need to buy a PRI that's going to give you 23 voice channels. In addition, you have the flexibility to expand calling capacity as needed. When your business grows and you need that 7th concurrent call, you can purchase an additional concurrent call in increments of 1. You can also optimize your circuit utilization through dynamic bandwidth allocation. What this means is that you'll have a single broadband connection that's being used for both data and voice traffic, but the bandwidth is not reserved for voice. When those voice calls are not in use, the full bandwidth is available to your office for data usage. When considering purchasing SIP trunking for your business, there's a few things that you need to consider. First off, evaluate your existing broadband connection to determine if it will support your voice calls. Do you have enough bandwidth available on that broadband connection to support the additional voice calling capacity? Does that circuit have the right SLA? In case a circuit goes down, will your provider resolve the issue quick enough to get your voice calls back online? And do you need quality of service on the line to always prioritize your voice traffic over your data traffic? Additionally, you want to assess your company's calling habits to determine the best usage plan for you. How many concurrent calls is your business using during its peak time? How many minutes per month are you using for local calling or domestic long-distance calling? By understanding your usage habits, you can make the best decision when you select your provider. The third thing that you'll need to do is select the right provider. Has that provider certified your PBX or IP PBX so that they know how to configure it? Does that provider provide the right usage plan and features for you based on the assessment that you did? And can that provider design and implement a disaster recovery solution for you in the event that we cannot connect to your PBX in case your broadband connection goes down or there's a power outage in your office? By selecting Broadvox as your SIP trunking provider, you know that you're going with someone that has over a decade of experience in the industry. We have certified over 50 PBXs and over 85 models. We have a robust, stable, redundant network with nationwide coverage, and a range of pricing options to address any business, whether you need unlimited long-distance calling or if you have a call center and need to meter all of your calls, we can address those needs. We also have multiple failover and redundancy options. If your PBX is inaccessible, we can forward to another PBX at another location, or we can forward all calls to DIDs with a different provider. Given the cost savings you'll see with SIP trunking, if you have a premise-based phone system and still are utilizing PRIs or analog lines, there's no good reason to not switch to SIP trunking today.